Hello, welcome to our final webinar session for the year, and it's going to be on PowerPivot. It's that tool that most of us have in our Excel. Especially those of us using 2013 Excel 2013, Excel 2016, but we seldom use. It's there. Most people don't even bother checking it out. And today I will be exposing us to the amazing things you can do with it. The wonderful kind of dashboards you can create, the kind of analysis you can run with it. And this is an example of this. In fact, today this is what we're going to build. I'm going to take you through how to build a dashboard like this, and in us building it together, you'll be learning a lot more about how Power Pivot works. We'll be using the query editor. We'll be using a lot of things that at the end of the day you would have grasped a lot about how Power Pivot works, and hopefully be able to see what are those reports you do that you can begin to leverage this knowledge in making better, and probably those data you have that you've never bothered doing a very interactive, nice looking dashboard for because you don't know how to do it. So now this is the opportunity for you to learn all of those, and I hope you enjoy today's webinar. Okay, so what you're looking at is a dashboard of companies listed in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So as you can see here, I have I think about 180 something companies here. So 7up, Academy, Access Bank, a whole lot of companies that are on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So here is actually a slicer that you click on, and everything here changes. And here also is another slicer for you to check out. Maybe you want to check out the return on assets. So you pick on a particular metric, so return on asset, and you check. Maybe I want to check this for First Bank. So let's look for First Bank. So for First Bank, and immediately I see everything changes, and I'm able to see return on asset for First Bank, and also I'm able to see the historical price for First Bank, right? So this is what we'll be building. And what about the raw data? So I'm going to close this. Do I need to save? Okay, so let's save it. All right, so that is closed. The raw data are coming from two places. So number one, I have the historical records already in a file called stock analysis pivot. So this holds some aspect of our raw data. It's a fairly large file, so it's going to take some seconds. Okay, so it's open. So here I have the different companies ticker and their company names, and here I have by revenue. So I have revenue of all those companies for the last 11 years, so the latest 11 financial years. And I have the same for gross profit, for net income, for total asset, and up until net income margin. So this is one aspect of our raw data. This one has the analysis of historical record for the last 11 years, right? Then I have a server, so I'm going to show you that. I have an SQL server that holds the historical price record. So I have a Python script running that updates on a server the prices per day. So it has up-to-date pricing of all the stocks listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's taking a while to connect. So we're going to be connecting to the two different data sources. One is on a live server, the other is in an Excel file. And so let's get started. Okay, so for all, I'll need to aggregate all. This is many different sheets, one dashboard that puts entities, different subsidiaries in your company, and you've never been able to wrap your head around how am I going to make a dashboard that can tie together all of these numerous reports, numerous data, and that is what we are going to do today using pivot table. All right, so first of all, I'm going to go into the query editor and tell Excel that I want to match up this data. I want to do some data transformation, and all this data to some data transformation. So but in 2016 you have looking exactly like I am. So in case you've been wondering different from mine, this is 2016. So I come to data menu, and then I come in here and I tell Excel that I want to run some queries. I want to extract some data from from this. Let's start with the one in the Excel file. So from a workbook, and this is very interesting. I'm going to extract data from the very workbook I am in. It sounds funny. The very workbook that I have open is what I'm going to extract data from. So I'm going to click on from workbook, and I'll pick this same workbook, stock analysis pivot. Stock analysis pivot. Just to check a second, let me check if the video is running fine. I have a secondary screen here with which I can check. Okay, so while that one is checking, I'm going to continue. I'm hoping all is working great. Okay, I think so. All right, so I'll pick on that and I'll import. So I'm going to import that. Just to check a second, let me check. All right, so I've gotten a confirmation that it's working smooth. I clicked on that and you'll see it up file, and it's showing me all the tables and sheets I have in there. So these ones you're looking at, these are tables, and they correspond to these tables in my Excel file. And if I'm going to pick the tables I need, so I'll say select multiple items. I need this current asset table. I need this current liabilities tables. I'm going to be a little fast because I have many of them. So I need all of these tables. Okay, I think I need so right up to here, including this. Perfect. And then I'll tell Excel I want to do some matchups, right? So don't just load them yet. Take me to where I edit them. Okay, so it's going to bring up. It's working on them. It's going to bring up an editor soon. And here it is. Great. So now it's brought up all those tables I have picked to load. And what I want to do is this. If you look at this report in here, I have current asset, all the different metrics I want to analyze, across all the different stocks. They are in different tables. It will make more sense for me to have them all together. That way I can be more creative in the kind of analysis I'll do. I can do analysis I'll cut across, especially in this case where I'm going to want to put a slicer, right? So I can say I want to see the current liabilities. So now what I'm saying is I want to put together all of this data into one giant table. So that is called append queries. I'm going to come in here and say append queries as new. And that's going to bring something up. Great. I'm going to pick no, I'm not appending just 2 tables. I'm appending, I think these are up to like 15 tables. So I'm appending 3 or more tables. And then I pick this current asset already there, so I start picking from that one downwards. Append all of these tables. Append means join them together one after the other, so that way I'm able to merge. I don't want to use the word merge. It's actually I'm copying one, putting the next one underneath. Okay. In the end, I'll have one giant. I'm not doing for ticker. I have one giant table. Okay, so that's it. I'll click on OK, and it's done that in a separate table for me. I'm going to rename this table, so I'm going to name it let's call it analysis, and I'll do OK. And then in this, you'll notice I have some fields that are that are null, empty, no data in them. I don't need this in my report. So because we don't have values for them, I think I don't know. When we were gathering the data, we couldn't gather historical record data for those ones. So it will be common to in your own data analysis work. There will be some. How do you treat missing data? We call this missing data. You could decide to replace them with some other values, maybe an average value, but in my case I'm going to remove them. So I'm going to filter out any data record I don't have the figures for, and that is easy. I'll come in here and I'll say I don't need the null ones, so exclude the nulls, and great. So that has done that, and you'll notice every step I take, it's recording them. So I could, in case you want to undo a step, you just like, let me undo that one I've done. I click on the cancel sign beside that step and it goes off, right? So that's how the query editor works. But I need that, so I'm going to redo just that again. Okay, so perfect, done. And then one other thing, if you look at this, I have the years, 2005 separate, 2006 separate. I would rather, if I want to plot a line chart going from one year to the next, it will make more sense to have all the years in a particular field, in a column, rather than them separated out in different columns. So I'm going to have to do some transformation. It is called on pivot. So I'm going to make all the years come together and the values in front, right? So I'm going to select all of the years. In fact, I'll start from this and I'll hold on the shift key, select the last year, and I'll come into transform. So under transform, I'll click on pivot column. Okay, and that has done that for me. Now I have all the years flowing downwards in one column, and I will have the values in front. Let's change this name from attribute. Excel does gives you this default name attribute. I don't need that's not very descriptive for us. I'm going to change it to year, which makes a lot more sense for what we want to do. Okay, and you notice every step I'm taking, you can see them in here listed out, right? Yeah, so I think I'm done with this one. So I need the one for the prices, right? I need to bring in the price data. The price data, like I showed us, they are in this. Let me copy this out. They are in a server, a SQL server. It should connect. So I need to connect to the server and bring them. But don't worry, I'm not going to connect to them through here. I'm going to connect to the server from Excel itself. So you can bring in data from any source. So I'm going to go back to the query editor, and then I'll say I need to bring in some data from a new source. I come in here, new source, and from a database. So you see you have a lot of options. You can bring in data from some flat file, Excel, CSV, what have you, and from a database, SQL Server, which is what I'm going to do, and other kind of database, a multi-dimensional OLAP server, multi-dimensional servers, Oracle server, MySQL, Postgre, SAP, from even Azure Cloud Service, from any server, any server, right? So even from Facebook. So maybe you want to match up with your social media data, your interactions with people online, and even the non-regular ones, from web, from big data. This is Hadoop file system, from any kind of data source. So let's go to the one that is relevant to us for this demo, SQL Server. So I click on it, and let's give it a moment. Okay, I had already copied out the name of the server, right? So I'm going to paste. Okay, so that's the name of my server, and my database name is Nigerian Elite. Okay, and I'll click on OK. So that should connect. Let's give it some seconds. Perfect. So now it's connected to my server. You'll notice it didn't ask me for login details. It's because I'd connected to this server before, and upon my first connection instance, it asked me for my login details, so it remembers that. So until maybe I go tell it to forget. So in case if you have data sources you connect to regularly, you don't need to always type in the connection details all the time, except you really want that, then you change the settings to make it ask you for connection details every time. So in my case, I don't need to tell it to ask me. So here I have some databases. This is a one I ran on a Twitter analysis to analyze my Twitter feeds and the rest. The one I need is stocks. Aha, so this is it. So this is where I have the different prices, stock prices, daily price, per day for all these different stocks, and then other things: market capitalization, volume of trade, price at the close of the trading day, some other things: shares outstanding, dividend yield, price to earnings, earning per share, return on investment, return on equity. Okay, so all those. I'm going to click on OK, and that should bring that in. So it's telling me the data is 8 days old. There's something wrong with my script that updates the data daily, so I think it recently stopped. I'll figure that out, right? So maybe that's why the data hasn't been updated for the last 8 days. I have a script running that gets those data live daily from the stock exchange, from routers. All right, so once that one gets back, even the data will always be populated. So every new day, so I'm going to close this. So every new day that this database is updated, even my Excel dashboard will also be updated. That's the cool thing about it. It's a live database, right? So it's not a flat file. Every time that database is being updated, even my dashboard will be updated. Okay, so I think that's all I need. Okay, so this is all I need, and then I'm going to tell Excel to close and load. So it's going to load all of those into my Excel, and then we'll take the ones we need anyway. So we'll take the ones we need into PowerPivot for analysis. If you have any question, you can drop. So while this is running, let me check if there are any questions. Let me check. Sometimes it's kind of tricky to figure out where to access the question. In case if you have any questions you asked and maybe I didn't see it during the video, just check back after the video. I will go back after this webinar, and I'm going to answer any question, even if it requires me making another video to explain the answer. So that way I don't disrupt the flow of the video of the webinar, because I'm unable to. If I go live onto the YouTube here now, it won't look cool anymore, right? So I think it's running. If you look at onto my, let me expand it here. So if you look at to my right, well, you can notice it's pulling out, especially the one from the SQL server. It's pulling out all the rows, so you can see it's gone up to 10,000. It's pulling these directly from the server. Okay, I think I have about 11,000 plus. It should be done soon. Okay, so if you just keep checking the ones here, any moment from now it should be done pulling out that data. See, it's a lot of work it's doing, right? Ever thought about your Excel being this powerful? That's what you've always been having on your desk, and you just never bother to check. Even when I put my mouse on anyone, I see like a preview, a flyout of what's there, right? Excel has moved from just being useful to being cool. Okay, so I don't know. I hope it's not hung, because it should have been done by now. It doesn't take this long. It's been stuck at 11 to tonight. Okay, so done. All right, so I'm going to move boards into the PowerPivot, to the data model. The very ones I need for my analysis. So I need this one, so I pick this, and then in my Power Pivot, I'm going to add this to my data model. So I'm going to add this to the data model. It's going to come up. Something is going to come up. Maybe it's been added. Well, okay, so I'll take it as it's been added. No. Okay, I also need the one that we compiled, this one, this very one. I also need this. So this has all the metrics, all the financial records, analysis I need to run. So I also add this to the data model. I was expecting maybe that one didn't add, because this was what I was expecting it to do. Well, when this does that, we'll check out. Maybe that one had added. Oh, that one didn't add. I have to re-add it. And I did click on it. Anyway, maybe I didn't click hard enough. So I'm going to have to go back and add this one. Okay, so I pick it, and then I add to my data model. Okay, so I think, oh, it's yeah, it's, you can see it down here. Okay, so all right, if I scroll this down, it should be about 11,000. And okay, perfect. So I've added I need one more. I need the one that will I need to create relationships between the two, right? So I need I have a separate table, so I have it here. I'm going to go to where it is. This ticker bridge table, I need it to be able to link up the ticker to the company name. So I'm going to also add this. So I'll add this to my data model. Okay, so great. Those are what I need for my dashboard. So this is the Power Pivot. Let me expand. Let me make it full screen. Okay, so I'm making it full screen. Okay. All right. So I hope you can see screen. Just checking if everything is going fine. No, my demo has stopped playing over here, so let me check. Well, I'll assume everything is still going fine. Okay, maybe everything is still going fine. All right, so and I have in here now what I need for my dashboard. So I have the one that has the different analysis I want to carry out. So current asset analysis, the different analysis I need to carry out, and then the different companies. So let me click on the drop down so you get to see clearly what I'm saying. Okay, this is taking a while. Okay, perfect. It just showed up now. Okay, great. So you see, okay, so you see the different kind of analysis I would like to see, and then for the different companies. So let me not do too many unnecessary things. And I also have here the stock prices, the historical price data, right? And I have in here a table that I can use to link the ticker to the company. So now I need to create relationships. Relationships between my different tables. This is what makes Power Pivot much more powerful than your regular Excel, right? So I go to diagram view, and instantly it shows me, a diagrammatic view of my different, data data tables, models, whatever you want to call it. So I need to create relationship between in fact, I'm going to put the stock right here. So I'll have the ticker right in the middle, and then I'll create a relationship between this ticker table and this ticker here, so they are related. So you saw what I did. I just dragged one over to the other, and instantly it creates, it says this is a many to one, start to one, so many to one relationship. It figures that out by itself anyway. So I do the same for this. So it's creating relationship. If you can look at this, the lower right corner. Okay, great. Again, a many to one relationship has been created here. And all right, what else do I need to do here? I think I'm done here. So I'll go back to the data view, and if you needed to do other things, maybe add a new column, you know, let me go to the analysis. So add a new column, do some extra formatting, whatsoever you will want to do, whatever else you need, you want to do, you can also do here, right? You know, you can add column, run formulas. Maybe in a separate video I'll take us through the another example where we'll be doing a lot of formulas in PowerPivot. But for now, let's focus on the dashboard, right? It's very super easy to create a dashboard with PowerPivot, even with ordinary pivot. Then imagine with PowerPivot, you know, powerful dashboards. So I'm going to create, say I want to create a pivot table because I've put in all the data I need. I've done all the matchups I want to do. Click on under home here. I say I want to insert a pivot table, and then it's going to ask me where. Yeah, it's always good to put your dashboard in a new worksheet. So I'm going to pick new worksheet. Perfect. I don't need this. It keeps following me everywhere. All right. So this is what I want to do. If you remember the image I showed us in the beginning of the kind of dashboard it will make sense to create. I want to create a dashboard where I'll have a slicer for all the different metrics. So let's go here to under insert. I'm going to pick on slicer, and I'll click on all. So I'm going to do, it's under my analysis table. Okay, so analysis table. I saw it. You know what? I'm going to have to. Okay, so this is it. Metric. Yeah, metric. That's where I have the current asset, revenue, and all those other analysis things, metrics I want to be able to pick. So I've selected it. I'll do OK. Something should come up. Perfect. Really nice. So I'm going to put it here. In fact, I want it to be like this size, and let's make it more column. So you will see here I have the slicer tools options. I can say I want them in how many columns will make sense. Maybe this, or maybe 6. This is good. So 6 columns, and then I want also another slicer. So I want another slicer that will allow me to pick the company I want to analyze. So the company I want to analyze. Okay, so we go back to insert. Slicer, and then I pick no, not here. Under ticker. So I pick ticker, and I do OK. Okay, let me just check. You know, I'm getting a little worried. Maybe this thing is working or is broken. I don't know. I'm just using faith, thinking everything is going fine. So let me check. If all is going really smooth. I don't have a way to fast forward. Okay. This is unfortunate. Okay, I think I'll keep fitting it, you know, hoping that nothing has gone wrong. Okay, so I'm going to drag. Where should this be? Yeah, I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to put it there. and maybe I should make these ones go up. All right, so I have more space. Okay, so okay, all right, not bad. And I don't like, for my dashboards, I don't like the grid lines. You know, this is what we call the grid lines. All these lines, you know, always constantly showing in your Excel. So I don't want that grid lines. I'm going to do something about that, and it's under view. So I'll switch off grid lines. Okay, so I have a white space, so that makes sense. So now let's start with the dashboard itself. I want to see the analysis. So analysis, okay. I want to see for the different. Let's take the metrics, or should I take the year? Yeah. So let's start with the year. So for the different years, what has been the change? You know, so I want to see different years. Then the metric itself. No, metric should be in columns. So metric here, so I have it flowed this way. Sorry, you are not seeing them. I have pulled the distance over them. So I think I just drag them downwards. So insert. So it brings that down. Maybe I do something similar for these two. So that drags to the right. Okay. So I can bring this back, and I can take this back up there. Okay, so I'm getting I think I've overdone it. There's not too much space. I need to remove maybe like this quantity of space. Perfect. Okay, so I'm almost getting there. What will I like to see? I like to see the value. So value goes to value, and it's average. Average. Okay, so if you're familiar with pivot table, this is your regular pivot table. So nothing, nothing different. So let's test it out. What if I selected a particular metric? Perfect. See, it's working nice. And I don't need grand total, so I need to switch off that grand total. So under design, I go to grand total, switch off grand total for rows and columns. Okay, so I think I'm getting close to what I want. And what else? This doesn't make sense. It should show up as year. And what else? So let's put a chart to this, right? So I'm going to select this. It would be nice to put a line chart. Maybe a line chart with a marker. So I'm going to put a line chart with a marker. Perfect. And some things. I'm going to switch off these pivot table controls. They are called, this is actually a pivot chart. Any chart you build out from a pivot table data is a pivot chart. So I'm going to switch off the controls, and to do that it's under analyze, and then I switch off the field buttons. Perfect. I don't need this also. Or let me remove the chart title, and let me take this net income up there. So I'm going to move the legend, move it to the top. Okay, so that looks nice. And then let me put it on the side. Okay, so I'm going to work with the way to look next. So we can do the design afterwards. Let's finish with the skeleton of the old stuff. I think I'm going to have to reduce this. Perfect. And then I also want to show the historical price, right? So I want the price, the closest, the shortest, or should I say the neatest way to do another pivot, because I need the pivot table kind of control. So I'm going to have to just copy this one. So that's the easiest way to do another pivot table from the same data source right inside the same sheet. So I'm going to copy this, copy, just normal copy, and I'm going to paste it here, paste, just normal paste also. And then when I come in here, I'm going to change everything. So this time around, I'm going to drag this off, and we're going to work with the stocks. So for the stocks, I think date should be in rows, right? Yeah, date. So I'm going to bring in date to rows, date to rows, and I'm going to need to drag out year also. Okay, so I'm going to drag out year. I don't need year. Okay, perfect. So in fact, maybe I should collapse everything. So let's collapse. Where's collapse entire field. Perfect. And then I'm going to drag back to stocks. I'm going to drag the price. I need the price in value. So let's say I want to see the average price per year. Okay, so I'm going to try to see the average price per year. What is this? Whatever that is, I don't know. So I just hope it doesn't affect what I'm doing. Okay, so price per year and average. So we're going to make that average. Okay, and I'm going to what else do I need to do? What else do I like to do? So nice. So I think I have all I need. This is not this is date. Perfect. And then I'll do in here another line chart. So I'll do a line chart to this one. I'll use a plain line chart, so I'm not going to do the marker one. And as usual, I'm going to switch off the field buttons, and I'm going to why is it taking okay, so it's gone. And I'm going to also again delete this. Why is it showing total? This should be price. I don't know why it's showing total, but anyway, I'm going to what now? Maybe I don't even need that at all. So, or maybe I'm going. I don't know. So let me just wipe it off anyway. And then I'll put that here. Perfect. No. I don't like these charts that this. Well, I'll change that later. I don't like my chart starting, from a non-zero axis. It's confusing. You'll think this thing has dropped by half. You don't know it just dropped a few. In fact, let's change that now. I'm going to right click on these. I'm going to format axes. I'm going to tell it my minimum. So let's look for minimum 0, and I'm going to switch off all those, minimum 0 anyway. Let's make the other ones automatic. Okay, perfect. So I'm done with this, perfect. And what else will I like to do? I will like to, so as not to confuse, maybe I'll bring back the, okay, I'll add an axis to this. Okay, I don't think I don't need the pivot chart fields anymore. I'm done with what I want, so I'll switch that one off. It's kind of distracting. Okay, so I'm going to add an axis. I'm going to add an axis title. I'll add primary horizontal. Yeah, and I'll call this share price. Share price. Okay, So now let's work on the look and feel, because I think we are done with the skeleton. So this is looking sort of too bland, huh? Let's do some things to make it look nice. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to make this maybe I'll just make this just right here, perfect. And then I'm going to give this some background that will make it my data stand out. So I'll come in here, let me choose a gray background. What do you think? Maybe something like this. I think this is good. This is good. Okay, and then I'll make these ones white again. White again. Let's check it out. Okay. So it's looking well made, sort of. Should I expand this some more? Okay. So let's test it out, right? Not to waste too much time. We can also do a lot more painting and the rest. Let me change this to price, share price. What's left is just the look and feel. But as per functionality, I think it should be working fine. I can select, so let's say I want to see what photoil is doing like, right? So I pick on photoil, and instantly I see it would be good to have something to show us which company we're looking at, right? So I think for the share price, that will make some really nice sense to see for which company it is that we are looking at. I'm going to do that for the share price. So I'm going to just bring back the field list, and then on columns I'm going to drag in the company name. So company name, that should be under ticker. Where is the ticker? Okay, so ticker, and I'll drag in company name here. Okay, so I think with that I can, let me bring back this. I'm done with this. So let me bring back the chat, the legend. So I'm going to bring back legend, and I'll put it on top. So that should show us the company name. Perfect. So that shows us the company name. And okay, so right now what we've been able to do, we've been able to use the pivot table to build for us a dashboard, something that is tying together all of the details. Let me pull this up a little. Okay, so it's kind of nice like this. There's always this problem with the look and feel. You're never satisfied, sort of. So let's leave that for now, right? The functionality is what matters most. So now I'm looking at photoil. I'm seeing that photoil. Let's look at revenue. Where's revenue? and I can see instantly that Fort Oil revenue has been up, a little down, up, down. So if you're the one trying to invest in Fort Oil, right, these are the things you would like to, you would like to factor in. And if you want to see the prices on a more granular scale, so let's expand the prices. So the share price, I'm going to expand the entire field, and then this will show us a more granular flow. So yeah, perfect. So you can see it shows us the variations, how it's been changing, over the last couple of months. And maybe I should make this a little wider. So this is breaking one of the my rules of dashboard. Everything should fit in one screen view, but no worries. You can always still end up making them fit in one screen view. Either you shrink or whatsoever you will do. And but the thing is the functionality. So now you can see, I can see what the stocks has been like for the last 5-6 months. And if I want, I can look at guarantee. And what if I want to see two different stocks at the same time? I want to see the analysis of two. So maybe I'm thinking of, should I buy Fort Oil? Should I buy Mobile? Fort Oil, Mobile. Let's look for Mobile. Okay, so or Mobile. So I'm going to hold on the Control key and click on Mobile. And instantly, I should be able to see the two, right? Okay, so I'm seeing the price of Mobile, price of Fort Oil. As per revenue, I'm not seeing anything for revenue, so I need to make some changes to the revenue one. So let's see what's bringing that issue about. Metric and oh, okay, I've seen what the issue is. I'm going to need to put also again the company name. So where's ticker? I think the company name should come before the metric. So I'm going to put the company name also in column before the metric. Perfect. So done. And now I can see, wouldn't this look better as a column chart? So let's try that out, because well, I can see revenue of Fort Oil, how it's been changing over the years. So it seems let's see which is blue, which is orange. Mobile revenue hasn't been as cool as Fort Oil's revenue, right? And let's see share price. Interestingly, and Mobile share price has been going up while Fort Oil has been going down. So now if you're interested in why is that, you might want to check on some other things. Maybe let's check their net income. So I click on the net income, and then we can begin to see the reality. Despite the fact that Fort Oil has been raking in a lot of revenue, it's been having tough time making profit from those revenue, while Mobile has been making profit from its own revenue, right? So let's see, maybe if I show this as a column chart, what it will look like. I'm going to change chart type, and let's pick on a column chart. This should do. Okay, so the column chart, not bad. So it shows us, depends on you now, anyone works fine. So it's just left to you which one you prefer. And I need to reduce the size of these things. So I'm going to, okay, I'm going to make them back to this size, so I can see everything on screen. Perfect. Okay, so I think I need to drag. Things have changed. Anyway, no problem. We can always do the rearrangement anytime. Okay, so now you can compare two different, contrast two different companies, check them out for, let's check their return on assets. And again, Mobile has been doing really fine, and Fort Oil has been. So now you get to see the reason why Fort Oil, despite having more revenue, has been going down, while Mobile's share price has been going up, right? So these are the kind of things that you are able to achieve with pivot table. Imagine you having to look through these many numerous tables, trying to create a report for them, maybe one by one. I think I have about 16 different tables. And then also I told you we have some data on the, I don't know what's wrong with it, some data also on the SQL server. So how are you able to match up all of this together? If you don't know pivot table, you're going to have a tough time doing that. In fact, what I see most people do is they just tell their bosses that it's not possible. They keep saying no, 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 it's not possible. Maybe they should think about using some new software, or the company should try and maybe go buy something or get some consultants to build them something in-house. They don't know it's possible because they've never had to use the pivot table that it's on their Excel all this while, right? So with pivot table, I'm able to match up all those numerous data and come up with one dashboard. Look at this dashboard. It's fitting in just one screen view. And you know if this is a business and you're the decision maker, this is the kind of things you will want to see, how every aspect of your business is linked together. Maybe all these are the different units or different products you sell. Maybe these are the different clients, so you want to check out, or different regions. How are our products doing on the different region? You could compare two different regions and you could see as many different kind of charts as you want to see, right? And so that is it for today. Unfortunately, I thought I'll be able to take us through KPIs, how you set up KPIs, but I don't want to load us too much, right? So we could create KPIs and check them out. Maybe you have your metric of you're going to invest only in companies that their return on asset is I don't know. Maybe their return on asset is more than 0.10, so 0.10%, right? So you want to invest in companies that the return on asset is more than 20%, right? Then you set up a KPI against that. Companies that have more than that, they show up with the green. Those that have less than that with red. And measures, you could create new measures. Maybe you want to see how the old companies are performing against industry average, maybe the whole Nigerian Stock Exchange. So we create a measure around that, right? A measure that tracks the whole Nigerian Stock Exchange, and then you could compare the change in a particular company against the entire stock exchange. So these are things that with PowerPivot you can achieve, right? And what else did I promise to show us? Hierarchies. So how you create hierarchies. If you look in here, let me bring that out. So I'm going to bring back the field list. So you will see in here, I think we had an hierarchy before. Yeah, we had it for this, sorry. So you see, we had this is what is called hierarchy. I have month, date. So yeah, this is, let me see if I can be able to let me right click here. Fortunately, I'm not able to show it to you yet. But this is hierarchy, right? It's what makes me to be able to drill down. Say I want to see for just month. I want to see for the different dates in the month. So in your own case, it could be the different regions you cover, and then underneath each region, you want to see the individual branches, the individual areas, the individual customers in each region, individual clients. So you create a hierarchy, and it's easy to create. If I was to go back to the Power Pivot so if we go back to the Power Pivot, it's in here. Yeah, so back to the Power Pivot, and then oh, this was what was giving me an error the other time. Okay, so if we go back to the Power Pivot, especially the diagram view, so you can create hierarchies. So let me give us an example. Will there be something like that will make sense to create as an hierarchy? Assuming I had created months, dates, years. So let's see if I can do that. Where should I do that? Nah, that should be under stocks. So I'm going to go to stocks. I think it's even done. It's done something similar. If you look at this, but let's create our own anyway. So let me create something from scratch, and then I explain to you how hierarchy works. So I'm going to go back to data view, and I will go to stocks. Wow, that's the very one I have an issue with. This is not a good day. That one had gone off view. I think the connection to the server timed out. My internet, it's the same internet I'm using to stream, and also the same one I'm using to connect to the database. So that's why. Sorry for that. Maybe in another video I would take us through the insights of especially the formula aspects. So for now, what we did was we just used PowerPivot to match up data, create a dashboard. Sometimes you could want to even do a whole lot more of analysis like that, KPI, create hierarchies. Maybe I'll create another webinar. That will be definitely next year, and then we'll do hierarchies, we'll create KPIs, and then you'll get to see the advantages of those ones also, right? So thank you, and let me see if I can check for questions since we are done. So I think I can go and I can check out and see if there are questions. Oh, okay. So I think there are. Someone said, oh, okay. Coyote said the screen went blur. I don't know. Are you still able to? Let me ask him. So hi, Coyote. Hopefully, hope the screen came back. I hope that is correct. But I know he will understand what I mean. Okay, any question? Oh, thank you, Peter. So thanks, Peter. Thanks, sir. Okay. Thanks, sir. Okay, Francis, hey, you said, do you have any sample data we can follow along with? Okay, sample data. Let me see. If the screen, I think about the blur part, it is the streaming. So while you're watching, you can come to setting and tell YouTube that you want the quality to be, so it's under YouTube, you set it to maybe 480 pixels. So it's YouTube that is automatically, downgrading, thinking, it tries to figure out your internet connection. So that's why. So the screen blur issue is from YouTube settings on your device. So you can set it. So if you look at what I'm doing now, under settings, under quality, set it to the highest. That way you get to see everything. So like now I'm setting mine to 480 pixels. Okay. Any other question before we time out for today? And let me see. So set the video quality to maybe 480 pixels. And all will be clear or bright. Okay, so thank you all for joining us for this month. Thanks. Any question before I sign out? Any question before I sign out? I think we are just about 2 more minutes more. 2 more minutes, not 2 more minutes more. Any question? Thank you all for joining us to the end. I think we had about 7. We have 7 people currently watching, and I know some other people will watch the video recording. it's not easy to get a lot of people at once in okay, thank you. So I think that's bye from here. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year in advance, and also Merry Christmas in advance. See you all in 2017. In advance. See you all in year 2017 to your excelling. Bye. Thanks. Okay, so that is it. Signing off from here. See you next year. And if you have any idea what any suggestion what you want us to do next year, maybe January webinar, do please share, because it's sometimes I run out of ideas. Thank you, and that is it for today.